July 2017 had some great iOS and Android games. I'm Falcon, and today on GameRanks, the best new iOS and Android games of July 2017. Quick disclaimer, these are paid games. We will be doing a free game list. We always do every month, so look out for that soon. Number 10 is Arkanoid vs. Space Invaders is exactly what it sounds like. It is a combo of two classic arcade games, and it really works very well. They're both vertically oriented games, but they aren't exactly the same thing. Space Invaders is obviously sort of a defensive-offensive type game, and Arkanoid is more along the lines of getting rid of walls in order to get the highest score possible. The controls are customizable, the game is very smooth. I don't even know that you'll need to customize them to your liking, but you can, and it's just one of those mobile games that works. It's a lot of fun, and you should try it. Number 9 is All That Remains Part 1. The room-type games can be not so great, but they can also be very good, and I would put this on the good end of the spectrum. It's a complex game, it doesn't hold your hand at all, and let's be completely clear here, this one is not an easy one. This is a very hard one. But sometimes a good challenge is a really worthwhile undertaking, and the camera feature in this game needs to be in every single kind of game like this, period. There is just no excuse not to have that. Number 8 is Sidewords, a game by Milkbag Games. It's basically a word puzzle game that kind of combines sliding puzzles, and I gotta say, it kind of combines a lot of different things from word games that I like all into one game. It has elements of Scrabble, but it's not Scrabble. It's one of those simple games that really makes you kind of feel satisfied from getting done because it's not super easy. It's actually pretty damn hard at times. I'm not going to say the entire game is going to be a brain buster or anything like that, but it's going to trip you up at least a few times, and you're going to feel great when you get over it. So if you like word games at all, do yourself a favor and play Sidewords. Number 7 is Lowlander 2 Lowlander, which if you like Ultima, like the old Ultima Commodore 64 games, you will enjoy Lowlander 2 Lowlander. And as a plus, the controls are entirely one-handed, so if you can imagine the keyboard controls from Ultima, except you only need your thumb. Oh, it's good. In all seriousness, it is great. It has a retro look to it, but there's a lot more color, which I definitely like. It definitely feels like an evolved version of Ultima, and that's something I definitely enjoy because I played Ultima on Commodore 64. Yes, I'm that old. I was a kid, but it was there. Number 6 is Galaxy of Pen and Paper, an RPG that will absolutely just get you in the right spot. This is a game about playing games. The game is a group of 1990s role players. They're playing a sci-fi role-playing game. You control the players, but not their players. They basically take your instructions and make their moves. It's referred to by the developers as a meta RPG, and I think that's probably a good way to put it. Now, while that might sound a little bit complex, it's not. When you play it and feel what I'm saying, you're like, oh, this is very simple. And it is. It's incredibly fun. It's got a turn-based battle system that's very similar to the previous game, Knights of Pen and Paper, which is basically a similar thing with a little bit less features if you haven't played it. And the things added in Galaxy aren't massive, like there's the ability to stack enemies into groups of 6, for instance. Not the biggest thing in the world, doesn't change the game on a systemic level, but it makes sense. This is a really fun game because it's one of those situations where there is no fourth wall, so they're never breaking it, and everything just feels incredibly natural and usually funny. Oh, and it's totally gorgeous. This is such a good game on every level. I have to recommend it as somebody who loves RPGs. Number 5 is Street Fighter IV Championship Edition, and it is exactly what it needs to be in my eyes. Street Fighter IV isn't anything new. It's a great game, and it actually ended up being really good on mobile. Now, keeping in mind that this was never a gorgeous game by any means, they did update the graphics to be true HD, they fixed some pretty serious issues, And if I'm honest, this game basically does exactly what it's supposed to do, which is make Street Fighter 4 into the game it was meant to be. Now, here's the thing. The graphics have not aged well. When you play the other Street Fighter games on mobile, the pixel art actually works. The thing about 2D games is that they aged very well. Once they reached their peak, they kind of became a style as opposed to a limitation. And lesser 3D games don't really do that. But if you can get beyond that, this is the definitive version of Street Fighter 4, and I'm very happy it's out. Number 4 is Motorsport Manager Mobile 2, which pretty much improves on everything the original Motorsport Manager did. Now, the title says exactly what the game is, so don't expect any surprises if you're like, well, does it do anything more than manage? No, it doesn't. It gives you the races. The races happen as a result of the decisions you make, and they look great. To be fair, they look phenomenal. It is a great looking game. And it really does a great job of sort of compensating for all of the things that could happen, from different weather to the racers that you have getting old and you needing to hire new ones. You have to keep them happy, you have to keep their equipment in good condition, and you have to make sure that everything works out for you. It's actually great considering the idea that your decisions have a lot of impact, making the assumption that the racers are competent. All in all, this is a great simulator. It is in more depth than the first one, and I have to say that is a good thing because it feels like a more complete version of the game, which already was a lot of fun. Number 3 is Minecraft Story Mode Season 2, which I'm just going to go ahead and say if you didn't like Minecraft Story Mode Season 1, you're not going to like this, so check out for the next second if that's the case. That being said, Telltale did a great job creating an actual worthwhile continuation of the first season's story that kind of changes a few assumptions, makes you feel as though things have gone a little bit different. A few actors are different as well. That's going to be a taste-oriented decision for you. You may like that, you may not. The visuals are quite a bit more, good. It is Minecraft, so they're never going to be astounding, but they do look a lot better this time around, especially the animation. And we'll see where they go this season. Number 2 is Layton's Mystery Journey, which contains the most puzzles in any Layton series game, as well as daily puzzles that you get to take part in. Basically, it's a continuation of the series with Layton's daughter. I mean, what can I say? The Layton games are a lot of fun. It's basically mystery solving via puzzle. This is basically the result of a series doing well and people liking it. It is the biggest version of it. And while it doesn't add anything particularly new, it manages to do everything that you like really well. And that's about the only thing I have to say about it. It's fun as hell. If you love Layton, you will love this game. It's really, really good. And finally, number 1 is The House of Da Vinci, which is an absolutely perfect 3D puzzle adventure. It's basically The Room on steroids. It feels like The Room, kind of more advanced and obviously a little more historically accurate. I like that they did it as a full house. It makes it feel bigger. It makes it feel like you have some degree of control and there's more progress. This is basically the logical conclusion of The Room type games, and it's easily the best example of this type of game I've played. And finally, a bonus game for you, Oxenfree. I played Oxenfree on the PS4 when it came out. It is the kind of game that will leave you shook. Basically a perfect adventure game with an incredibly layered and complex story. Highly recommend it. Yep. What was your favorite iOS or Android game this month? Leave a comment, let us know. And if you enjoyed this video, please click like. If you're not subscribed, now would be a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week, and the best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter @FalconTheHero, and we'll see you next time right here on GameRanks.